How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews back with yet another review. A little bit of double barrel aged hopeful darkness time in the form of Fox Farm Brewing. It's their Votive. I'm going to call it Votive, not Votive. Votive. This is their double barrel Imperial Stout aged in bourbon, maple syrup, and port wine barrels. And they call it double barreled. I counted 3 barrels there, so it should be triple barreled. I'm sure there's just maple syrup somewhere involved, but we'll let it slide, Fox Farm, just this time. This comes courtesy of my boy Max. He threw me a bunch of New England Heat, and I've been chomping at the bit to dive into this sucker, just because, for a couple of reasons. I'm a Fox Farm fan. Limited exposure, but what I've had, I've really enjoyed. I am Bourbon Barrel Aged Imperial Stout. Sign me up. Maple syrup. Fucking sign me up. The combination of bourbon and wine barrel, sign me the fuck up, because that is some of my favorite combinations when it comes to actual double barreling. So what else we have going here is a 2019 beer, so it's relatively fresh. We're still in 2019, just in the cusp of August here. And actually, let's just crack in this sucker. Let's see what this sucker has to offer. Bang. She looks the part so far. Man, that's a pretty beer right there. I mean, even a label, it has that nice kind of textured label thing that I really geek out over. And if you look at that beer, I mean, it's kind of hard to see. You're not really going to be able to see it yourself. But, it had this rich kind of grapey, purple, reddish hue to the edge of it. So I'm expecting this to have a really big kind of wine barrel component to it. And this label, and it's got this real nice, I don't know if you can catch it, but it's got this embossed kind of gold, silver kind of background. Some of the lettering, just high-end labels, turn me on. And that looks like motor oil in a very positive way. I mean, she looks the big part, all the parts of a big Imperial Stout. Got that legs for days. See if you can get a nose. I mean, I don't use this word a lot because I understand the descriptor, and I just don't use it a lot because rarely do beers actually come off like that for me. But based off this nose, the first thing that jumped in my brain was the word chewy. It smells chewy. It smells dense. It smells like it is jammy and chewy and just thick. But not thick in that kind of super dense kind of way. More of a, that kind of jammy, kind of syrupy kind of way. I mean, you're getting a huge kind of raspberry, slightly cherry-like compote kind of marmalade-y kind of thing going on there. So that jelly you get in that cordial. So you're talking about the cherry cordial, the one that you get that has the raspberry preserve in the middle. It's more that than anything else. But you get that grape portion of the show from what I assume has to be a red wine, but it ends up coming more musty than big, robust kind of dry red wine. It's more of that leftover, great musty richness kind of floating in there. There's a nice chocolate component to it. I mean, that's kind of evident from all the kind of descriptors I've been talking about with those kind of chocolate-covered kind of candy things. And that's what it really does remind me of. I pulled it out of my pocket before. I'll say it again. And it's not something I generally just heave out there for a lot of beers, but this has that grandma candy component going on. It's got that, you pull the foil off, you pull the plastic thing off first, you throw that away because who needs the fucking directions, and you pull that cardboard thingy off, throw that away, and you start picking at those candies. Sure, you might remember a couple of the places because you're looking for peanut butter to start everything off, but then you leave it alone, you come back to it later, and you're like, oh fuck, I don't remember what's what, and then you have to eat whatever it is, and then you're just picking at ones. Sometimes you get a little brittle, sometimes you get a little bit of just straight dark chocolate, but then every now and then you get the cherry cordial, and every now and then you get that raspberry preserve kind of candy. That's exactly what this is. It's exactly not knowing what you're getting, and then smelling it and going, I kind of think that's what it is. And when you bite into it, I haven't even sipped it yet. That's the best part because it's telling you that with your nose, that you're getting that kind of raspberry cordial liqueur preserve kind of candy. We're diving in. It's still beer too, by the way. That's fucking delicious. It's exactly what I thought it would be. Based off the nose, exactly, and this is the hard part. I think this is the really hard part. Exactly what I hoped it would be. So I wanted it and hoped it, and it was. all three of those kind of in combination, you're getting that rich dark chocolate. It's impactful, but it's not overly sweet. It's almost dry. This beer is more dry than overly sweet. Don't get me wrong. It's a sweet beer. You know what I mean? But it doesn't come off that way. It has this nice kind of dryness to it. You're getting that rich, jammy, raspberry, cherry puree kind of mixture thing that I talked about earlier in a very pretty, very fantastical way. You're getting a nice kind of oak tannin from it. Both, I believe, just from a straight kind of soft vanilla oak, but you're also getting a little bit, not even a little bit, a decent amount of barrel char from it. So I believe both barrels are kind of working their magic. You get that spirit, you get this little zing, this little pop, this little snap of spirit that it has this kind of heat to it to let you know you're drinking something of impact, but at the same time you have that wine that's kind of tempering all that down. That's kind of being like, okay, you're getting that zap, but it doesn't come off too edgy, it doesn't come off too violent, and just lets you kind of be a bit more rich, a little bit more of that chewy I talked about when I first actually smelled the beer. It's weird. It's like a hair on fire, but a calm at the same time kind of beer. It has so much vibrance, so much impact, but at the same time, it's sultry, it's smooth, it's delectable. It makes you want to take your time while rushing. I mean, it's literally like a sophomoric oxymoron thing kind of going around the whole time. And honestly, that makes me really fucking excited. I mean, these are the kind of beers that I really do enjoy diving into for the first time, because there's really, I mean, I have my history with Fox Farm. I've had about maybe 4 or 5 of their beers, and I've really enjoyed what they've had. But it's been a pale ale here and a lager there. Beers I really do enjoy. But I just did, in the same night, not too long ago, I did a double hazy IPA from them, and now I'm doing this one. And they honestly are 2 of the best of those examples of beers I've had in quite some time from the same brewery. That's pretty fucking crazy, to be perfectly honest with you. I think that's absolutely bonkers in a very positive way. So I don't know what else to say. Super jammy, super chewy, raspberry cherry, cordial base chocolate stout shows a nice kind of bourbon pop to it that's not hot by any means, with a nice kind of soft grape mustiness, with still that roasted malt, the beer, all those things that I tend to forget about all the time, to talk about that they're actually there, but they're still there, because they assume you think I'm talking about those in a positive way. Like, I wouldn't be talking about this beer in a positive way if it didn't taste like a beer. I should not assume that, but that's what I do. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Isn't one of the better barrel-aged stouts that I've had. Basic. Let's just go simple. Barrel-aged stout that I've had as of late. Yes. Top-notch. Might be Mount Rushmore shit. At least in the recent times, absolutely. Might be one of the better ones I've had in quite some time. Value and availability, no idea. Maybe Max or somebody out there could chime in, because this shit is hot fucking awesomeness. I'll leave you with, if you like what we like this, if you like barrel-aged beer. I'm just going to keep it that simple, because if you like barrel-aged beer, if you like Imperial Stouts, and you like barrel-aged Imperial Stouts, and you don't like this, then you're just fucking dumb, with a capital B at the end. Like, that B is gigantic. There you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. If you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a beer as good as this one. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.